Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now we are to start part 2 of the material, discourse analysis and text linguistics, part 2. Okay, but before doing that, before that, I hope, 139 is fine. I just have a thing to mention here that is in part 1. This is the last page in part 1. Something about pragmatics. Okay, so here in this approach, or this module 5, there are approaches to discourse analysis. Okay, and here we have the first unit talking about pragmatics, and then we just need to know what is pragmatics, simple definition of pragmatics, and then we'll skip this speech acts. Speech acts, there are different acts that are performed while uttering some utterances, and then cooperative principles, Price's cooperative principles, we move to that. This fourth unit will skip. Now what is important here about pragmatics? We need to know a simple definition about pragmatics. We need to know that pragmatics is concentrated or focuses on the functions. Pragmatics concentrated on the functions the language performs in social context in which it is used. Definition. From here, this, this part, here, like this. Oops. Okay, so starting from here, pragmatics is concentrated on the functions the language performs in the social context in which it is used. إيش الفانكشنز اللي بتعمل اللغة الutterances لما نتكلم كلام، شو الفانكشن، شو الهدف أو الشيء اللي بيعمله كلامنا أو حكينا في الأوكيجن هذيك، في السوشيال كونتكست أو في السوشيال ايفنت. There's a situation, speech situation or speech event اللي هي ممكن نسميها social context. Social context اللي هي the speech event or speech situation. Okay, and then to follow, it looks at the aspect of meaning and language use that are independent on the speaker and the addressee. It focuses on the context of the utterance and the generally observed principles language users obey to be able to cooperate in any speech situation. Okay. You need to know this much about pragmatics. It looks at the aspect of meaning. In pragmatics, there are at least two meanings of any utterance. Any utterance entails two meanings. So the aspects of meaning and language use that are dependent, depend on the speaker and the addressee. Who's the speaker, the social status, the differences in social status, maybe culture, the social context in all its aspects. And it focuses on the context of the utterance, the event, the situation, the context, and they generally observe the principles language user obey to be able to cooperate. The principles, you remember, we talked about the cooperative principles. No, we'll be talking about there are some cooperative principles, crisis cooperative principles, quality or maxims of quality, quantity, manner. So there are some principles that should be obeyed, they should be followed in any speech situation. So the observed principles which language users obey to be able to cooperate in any speech situation, to cooperate in order to be understood, in order to be interpreted in the right or correct manner, understood. Okay, so نعرف التعريف هذا عن البراغماتكس. ممكن يجينا عليه مثلا صح أو خطأ، أو مثلا كعرفي أو كومنت من بين السؤال. مثلا ممكن يجينا سؤال comment on the following. اوكي، علقي على الاشياء التالية، يكون عندك اكثر من شيء، من بينها يكون مثلا pragmatics، تيجي تكتب الاشياء هذه قدر الامكان. او كصح وخطأ ممكن يجينا مثلا pragmatics is concentrated or focuses on the functions the language performs in the social context. حد هنا ممكن. اوكي، كصح وخطأ أو خطأ. اوكي، وبهذا نكون this would be the end of part 1. Okay, and then now I'll move to part 2. This is part 2. Part 2 of the material. Now talking about, again, same thing, text linguistics and discourse analysis. We'll give more maybe importance, more focus on text linguistics. Simple definition of text linguistics: it deals with the fragments of language larger than a sentence. Simple definition: deals with fragments of language larger than a sentence. يعني مو أشياء أقل من الجملة، مش مع الكلمات. الكلمات ليست من التعامل مع الكلمات أو تحليلها، هذا ليس من ضمن الاختصاصات لغويات النص. لغويات النص ما لها علاقة أو ما تتكلم عن اللغة أو الكلمات أو حتى الجمل. احنا نتكلم عن ما هو أكبر من sentences. So it deals with fragments of language larger than a sentence. زي ما انتم شايفين هذا ممكن يجينا true أو false مثلا. Okay. The approach to text is functional rather than formal. How people use it, the whole context of a speech act more than distribution of text elements. What is important is this part. Okay. Now I don't want to talk about giving definition of a text. This is definition of text. Okay. and discourse لأنه هذول أخذناهم يعني قبل كده. أوكي، فهذول ما نبغى نكثر من التعريف لأنه أخذنا تعريفاتهم في الجزء الأول من المادة، فما نكررهم أو يصير لخبطة في التعريف، فما نأخذ هذول. Now here the task of text linguistics is to account for the ability of native speakers to distinguish between well-formed text, which constitute a unified whole, and non-text. شو هدفها؟ إيش اللي بتعمل التكست linguistics؟ شو وظيفتها؟ To account for the ability، شو اللي بيخلي النيتيف speakers، إيش اللي يخلي النيتيف speakers of a language able to distinguish between well-formed text and non-text. شو اللي بيخلي النيتيف speaker of any language يفرقوا بين نص بيكون مصاغ بشكل صح صياغته، وإشي نص تاني يعتبر يعني non-text كأنه لا يعتبره النيتيف سبيكر، لا يعتبره كنص في اللغة، يعني ملخبط، لا يعتبر نص. وإيش اللي بخلي النيتيف سبيكر يفرق بين هذول؟ إيش اللي بخلي النيتيف سبيكر لما يجي مثلا على نص زي هذا، نحكي هنا the task of text linguistics is to account blah blah okay until the end. لما يشوف هذا النيتيف سبيكر، لو يشوف الكلام هذا تحكي له هل هذا مثلا is this a well-formed text؟ هل this paragraph is it a well-formed text or not؟ راح يحكي لك no, this is a well-formed text. شو اللي خلاه يقول إنه هالباراجراف هذه is a well-formed text؟ ولو جبنا له باراجراف ثاني متلخبطة زي ما مرة تكلمنا عن التكستواليتي اوكي and texture اللي هم ضمن اختصاصات التكست linguistics، لما جبنا مثلا نص وكتبنا هيك جمل حيالله ملخبطة، اوكي، وقلنا هذا النص غير مش صح، خطأ، شو اللي بخلينا نحكم انه هالنص صح ولا مو صح؟ هذا اللي هو وظيفة text linguistics. نعرف ايش اللي بخلينا نقول انه هذا well formed text or a non-text. Okay, so this is important. What is the task? What is the task of text linguistics? Okay, what does text linguistics do, or the objectives or the aim of text linguistics, the task. Okay, يعني ممكن يجي هذا إيش. This is simple definition here, the first line here, and some more information, maybe the task here, yes. And then what comes next, this is important. It has been established that a sequence of utterances is a text if it meets the 7 standards of textuality. احنا حكينا قبل انه an utterance or a sequence of utterances could be termed as a text, maybe as a text or a non-text. So the native speaker is able to say that a particular text such as this is a text or not a text. How does the native speaker do that? Maybe indirectly, or with based on the native speaker's knowledge of the language, he or she can decide about whether the particular text is well formed or not. Now, when we say the background knowledge or the speaker's knowledge of the language that enables him or her to decide whether the text is well formed or not, that knowledge includes different things such as these standards. Different elements such as the following standards. These standards all work together, maybe unconsciously, within the native speaker to let the native speaker decide about any text, whether it is well formed or not. They all work together. So these standards help the native speaker decide about any text. Now these standards are called standards of textuality. Textuality or texture, it is what makes a particular text. In order for a text to be well-formed text, in order for a text to be well-formed text, it should have actually texture or textuality. What are the standards of textuality? What we mean by textuality? Textuality has 7 standards. What are they? They are these. Okay, so it has been established that a sequence of utterances سواء كان محكي أو مكتوب is a text if it meets, إذا بيكون تتوافر فيه الشروط هذه أو المقاييس هذه التالية. What are they? Now we have the first one, cohesion. تكلمنا عن الcohesion تذكروا grammatical cohesion and lexical cohesion. Okay, coherence. Okay, اتكلمنا عنه. Intentionality, acceptability, informativity, situationality, and finally intertextuality. Now, the first two, cohesion and coherence. طبعا زي ما قلت يمكن انه اذا تشوفوا معانيهم في القاموس حتلاقي معناهم تقريبا نفس الشيء. كيف النص يكون مترابط، ترابط في النص. ولكن اللي نبغى نتذكره كيف نفرق بين الكوهيجن and coherence. cohesion لما يجي الكوهيجن هو معناه ترابط. coherence برضه ترابط في النص. ولكن الترابط اللي بصير في النص لما نتكلم عن الكوهيجن we are talking about the relatedness or the unity of a text in respect of words and grammar. Okay, so cohesion is related to the unity of text that is created by the use of words and grammar. Therefore, we had two units in part one. One is about grammatical cohesion, and the other unit was about lexical cohesion. Lexical or lexis المقصود فيها الكلمات. Okay, so cohesion is concerned, about the unity of text that is achieved by using grammatical resources and lexical resources available in a language. Okay, so we are talking about words level and grammar level, no more. But coherence, when we talk about coherence, yes, we are talking about unity again, unity of text, how a text is unified, how it makes a whole unit. But here we're talking about unity in relation to ideas. So here we're talking about level of ideas, not words or grammar. كيف ترابط الأفكار اللي بيكون في النص. في الكوهيجن نتكلم على الترابط على مستوى الكلمات، الترابط على مستوى القواعد. اوكي، اما لما نتكلم في الكوهيرنس نتكلم عن الترابط في النص مو على مستوى الكلمات، او مو اللي بننجز الترابط، قد يتم انجازه في النص بانه نستخدم بعض الكلمات تكون مترابطة زي ما اخذنا في اللكسيكال كوهيجن، واخذنا في عندنا different lexical resources. اوكي، synonymy, antonymy, metonymy, different lexical resources، كلمات في لها علاقة مع بعضها. لما نستخدمها الكلمات هذه اللي فيه تربطها علاقة بتخلي النص يكون فيه ترابط على مستوى الكلمات أو على مستوى الجرامر. وأخذنا في عنا مثلا في الجراماتيكال cohesion. Okay, grammatical cohesion, we talked about different grammatical devices used to achieve grammatical cohesion, okay, such as reference, substitution, if you remember, conjunction, ellipses, mainly reference, the great use of reference in grammatical cohesion. Okay. So those were lexical devices like reference, identification, ellipsis, substitution, conjunction. These were grammatical devices used to achieve grammatical cohesion. Grammatical cohesion. Now, in respect of coherence, it is about how the ideas in a text are connected. The ideas should be connected, should be related in a text, should be related to one another. Okay, so coherence, it works on ideas level. Cohesion works on words and grammatical level. Alright, we'll talk maybe in more details about each of these 7 standards of textuality. Cohesion, we talked about grammatical and lexical cohesion. Now, cohesion in general, it concerns the ways in which the components of the surface text, that is, the actual words that we hear or see. So here, see, when we talk about cohesion, we are talking about words and grammar. Now, when we talk about the grammar, also again words. So how the actual words that we hear or see are connected in a sequence. Right? Concerns the ways in which the components of the surface text. What we mean by the components of a surface text? The components of the surface text, that means the components العناصر الموجودة في التكست. شو هم العناصر هذولا؟ That means the words, the actual words that we hear or see. How these words, or how these components of the text, how they are connected in a sequence. That is cohesion. Cohesive devices have 2 tasks. This is important. What are the tasks of cohesive devices? What are the tasks of cohesive devices? Number 1, the task of cohesive devices. Number 1, A, that is to unify text. يخلوا التكست فيه unity، في وحدة، يوحدوه، يصير فيه ترابط في النص. To unify text. And B, to make it more economical. Economical اقتصادي، يعني كيف النص يكون اقتصادي. That means to save short-term memory، يعني ما يكونش النص طويل، ما يكون طويل النص. So cohesive devices, they have 2 tasks. 1, or A, to unify text, and B, to make the text more economical. Alright? Now, what cohesive devices are there? The cohesive devices, what are they? Number 1, recurrence. Recurrence. What is recurrence? Number 1, recurrence. What is it? It is the direct repetition of elements. The direct repetition of elements. That is, as we said in lexical devices, reiteration or repetition. So we have reiteration, repetition, or recurrence. Almost they mean the same. They are the same. ممكن يجينا هنا recurrence. What is recurrence? Or recurrence is the direct repetition of elements as true false, or as زي ما انتم شايفين filling the blanks. ممكن يجي هذا السؤال. يجينا مثلا نقاط، يكون عندنا في box كده وفي كلمات هنا، ويكون في عندنا جمل فيها فراغات نختار من الكلمات، أو بدون بوكس. ممكن يجينا فراغات بدون ما يكون في كلمات، بدون box. So the cohesive devices here, number 1, recurrence, which is the direct repetition of elements. Example, my brother has bought a car, and this car is really cool. So we have car and car repeated. This is recurrence, repetition, reiteration. Okay, the second cohesive device, number 2, that is parallelism. What is that? That is reusing surface formats but filling them with different expressions. You use words or formats, the same format, but the expressions are different, or maybe the words are different, but using the same format, the same structure. So he has plundered our seas, ravaged our coast, burned our towns. So the format is almost the same, but the expression, by filling them with different expressions or different words. So here we have, he has plundered our seas, ravaged our coast, burned our towns. تعبير بتلاقيه نفس الشيء, something or something. Okay, plundered our seas, ravaged our coast, burned our towns. So the structure is the same, the surface structure or the surface format, but the words used are different, filling them with different expressions or words. Different expressions or words. Alright. Here, our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. So we have repeated petitions and repeated injury. Same surface format, but different words. Petitions, injury. That is parallelism. The third cohesive device, number 3, that is paraphrase. Okay, so the third, that's paraphrase, which means the recurrence of content with a change of expression. Recurrent of content with a change of expression, or the use of synonyms. Okay, إنه نعمل تكرار أو نعيد المحتوى أو الكلمات بس نستخدم تعابير مختلفة بنفس المعنى، يعني كأننا بنستخدم synonyms. Okay, اللي هي كلمات متشابهة, words that are similar in meaning. Okay, مثلا we have the word murderer. Okay, بدل murderer ممكن نستخدم بدالها كلمة مشابهة بالمعنى أو تعبير مشابه بالمعنى اللي هي taker of life، يعني القاتل أو المجرم murderer. Okay, so murderer, which approximately means a taker of life. So instead of using the same word, we paraphrase the word this murderer, we paraphrase it to taker of life. Now paraphrasing could be on, paragraph level, not only words level. Now here we are talking about paraphrasing in respect of words level, على مستوى الكلمات فقط. And the fourth device, that is proof forms. What are proof forms? They are economical short words empty of their own particular content. They have no particular content or meaning by themselves, which can stand in surface text in place of more content activating expressions. ممكن نكون موجودين في النص مكان أو عوضا عن كلمات ذات معنى أو تعابير ذات معنى. But by themselves, proof forms, they are empty of meaning. They have no meaning by themselves. Now, the most popular or well-known proof forms are pronouns, الضمائر. Okay, الضمائر هم الأكثر شيء يستخدموا as في proof forms. So pronouns are the best known proof forms. زي ما أخذنا إنه في الريفرنس personal reference using pronouns or personal pronouns particularly. Now pronouns by themselves, they have no meaning. Okay, he, she, it, they mean لوحدهم ما لهم معنى الكلمات هذه، بس إذا استخدمناهم عوضا عن كلمات ثانية okay بصير لهم معنى. Okay, هلا نشوف الأمثلة. So here the example, there was an old woman which lived a shoe. She لو جينا لحالها she ما إلها معنى، بس هنا في الكونتكست هذه استخدمناها بدل مين؟ an old woman. So here this pronoun or proof form by itself it has no meaning, but when it is used in the context here in place of a more content activated expression, that is here the expression an old woman, it has meaning, it has content, يعني فيها معنى. So we use the pronoun or the proof form she in place of this expression, مكانها التعبير هذا. So she had so many children, she didn't know what to do. Again, the pronoun she is used in place of or replacing the expression an old woman. Another example. Are you together at all? Said the footman. That's the first question, you know. It was no doubt, only Alice did not like to be told so. Okay, so here this is the pronoun or the proof, so not the proof form here. It's not a pronoun. So are you to get it at all? That is the first question, you know. It was no doubt only Alice didn't like to be told so. To be told what? To be told this part. Are you to get it at all? And that is the first question. هذه so استخدمناها عوضا عن التعبير أو الexpressions على الأقل this, including the other part here also. That is the first question, you know. Okay, so this is a proof form by itself, alone, and isolation. It has no meaning. But when it is used in place of other expressions that are content, expressions that have content or meaning, then the proof form develops some meaning or possess some meaning. Only then. لوحدها ما إلها معنى، لو نأخذها لوحدها منعزل لحالها ما إلها معنى، بس استخدمناها مكان عوضا عن تعبير آخر ذا معنى بصير إلها معنى، زي ما صار عندنا في الضمير هنا. Okay, and then we have the fifth device, that is ellipsis. ellipsis تكلمنا عنها في الجزء الأول, which is the omission of words or phrases felt to be unnecessary because they have already been referred to or mentioned, or could be referred to, mentioned, or could be understood from the context. Referred to, mentioned, or may be understood from the context. Example, where are you going? To town. To town. هنا صار في عندنا حذف. ليه؟ لأنه أصل الجواب كامل I am going to town, but this part was omitted, and instead we just answer to town. To town. So there's here an ellipse or omission of some words. These words were omitted. ليه؟ Because they are referred to. Where are you going? So, to town. I don't need to say I'm going to town, because this is referred to in the question here, or mentioned in the question. And number sixth device, that is junction, which means the use of connecting expressions such as conjunctions or linking phrases or transitions. Okay, we use here conjunctions such as and, or, but, thus, or where connecting phrases or expressions. Therefore, however, moreover, furthermore, all of these are junctions, not conjunctions. And seventh device, functional sentence perspective. Functional sentence perspective, FSP. What does that mean? It means an utterance has the old information and new information. Old information, theme at the beginning of an utterance. New information, that is theme at the end of an utterance. Example: I saw a woman. Then the woman was carrying a large suitcase. Now if you look at this is the whole of this. This is an utterance. Okay, all of it is an utterance. So we have old information, new information. Now what is the old information? It's theme at the beginning of an utterance. Here, I saw a woman. Yeah. And new information, theme at the end of an utterance. All of this can be said to be old information. I saw a woman. Now the new information, the woman was carrying a large suitcase. This is new information. So that is the theme at the end of an utterance. Now if you look at this utterance as an utterance by itself, if not connected, then it's different, but it's connected to the first sentence. Okay, so if not connected, we said the woman, of course. Here the woman refers to the woman seen here in this sentence, in the first sentence, referring to the woman talked about here, mentioned here in the first sentence. So the woman was here carrying a large suitcase is new information, and that is what's called functional sentence perspective, FSP. And then number 8, intonation as a device of what? We're talking about what here? Cohesive devices. So on intonation is considered also as a cohesive device. What we mean by intonation? The falling intonation, falling, rising, your sound, the tone of your sound, مرتفع أو انخفاض الصوت المتكلم. Okay, that's intonation. each of them has different function, intonation, different intonations, different functions. Different intonation perform different functions. So for example, you have falling intonation marks the end of an utterance, end of sentence. The end of sentence usually ends, a sentence ends with a fall or falling intonation, not rising. Okay, or a whole text. It's an utterance or a whole text or a statement, a sentence. Okay, rising, it means or marks, rising intonation means continuity or asking the other person to continue, to go on. Okay, so intonation has different functions, and these functions of intonation create some cohesion in text. Okay, so these are هذول ممكن يجينا عليهم اللي هم عندنا cohesive devices here. There are 8 of them. Okay, 8 cohesive devices. ممكن يجي عليهم على تعريفهم كصح وخطأ أو true false or blanks. blanks يعني مثلا فراغ، هنعمل فراغ reusing surface formats but filling them with different expressions. تيجي تكتبي parallelism. Okay, omission of words or phrases, ellipses. Okay, أو the omission of words or phrases is called فراغ. تيجي تكتبي ellipses. Okay, or the use of connecting expressions is called فراغ. junction. أو ممكن يجينا ellipsis is the use of connecting expressions على شكل صح أو خطأ، تكون طبعا خطأ. right. فهذا اللي ممكن يجي هنا. قبل ما نبدأ coherence شوف الوقت كم صار. اوكي، اعتقد تعدى الوقت زيادة، فما راح اقدر اكمل هنا لانه راح يصير وقت كبير. فالافضل انه اتوقف هنا في هذه الجزئية ونكمل. توقف هنا ونكمل coherence and other standards. The other standards here we have already covered this cohesion. Then we'll talk about the other 6 more standards of textuality. المحاضرة القادمة الحين نتوقف هنا. Okay, السلام عليكم. Take care. Bye.